We're back in Albuquerque at University Stadium. It's the Lobos and Utah State Aggies live for you on Altitude Sports, and we're just moments away from kickoff. Look at New Mexico coming out in those beautiful turquoise uniforms, debuting jerseys and helmets the Lobos haven't seen since the 1970s. There's the man who has made it all happen this year for the University of New Mexico, first-year head coach Jason Eck. Look at that, 4-3 record through 7 games. It's also the first season that he's ever coached at the FBS level as a head coach, Dontrell.
Yeah, it's astonishing what's happening on so far. He has the city of Albuquerque, the state of New Mexico, believing in what he's putting out, and he's out there and he's doing it, and the Lobos believe in him, and we'll see what happens out here on the field today.
On the opposite sideline, boy, the ties that bind, right? Bronco Mendenhall coached New Mexico last season. The Lobos had lost 7 consecutive games to Utah State until Coach Mendenhall took the Lobos into Logan last year and beat them with a 21-point fourth quarter. Now he is back home in his home state at Utah State, Dontrell.
Yeah, he was here when I was here and then left and did all the things at BYU in Virginia and then comes here and then is gone in a year, and a lot of that happens, and that's just the reality of college football. That is the landscape of what it is, and so we'll see how that manifests itself in the football game today.
You can see there the list of familiar faces on that Utah State sideline. Add to that as well 10 support staffers in the in the Utah State football offices. It's a total of 24 people that were here at UNM that are now in Logan.
It is absolute familiar territory today, that is for sure.
Bankston and Williams back to return for the University of New Mexico Lobos. The kickoff specialist is a freshman, Zachary Robbins, for Utah State. And he bounces one out of bounds on the far sideline to start the football game. And that means UNM has fantastic opening starting field position, Dontrell.
Exactly what you want if you're a Lobo. Starting field position, a nervy kick on that first one.
So after the Aggies win the flip and defer to the second half, Lobo quarterback Jack Lane will bring his team out first offensively. We hear from our head referee, Kenneth Ray, for the first time, and the Lobos will take it at the 35. DJ McKinney will start as the tailback behind the quarterback, Jack Lane. The Lobos send trips to the left for their first snap of the game. Motion the tight end Keith across the formation and hand it off to McKinney. Up the hash mark for about 3 or 4 before he's wrapped up and brought down after his first carry by Brevin Hamlin.
Yeah, hopefully they go a little tempo. You get that run, establishing it early. Give yourself an opportunity to get things going.
Call it second and a short 6. Pull it and throw it out here to the near sideline to Cade Keith. He makes the grab at the 40-yard line, spills forward for a couple extra before he's brought down by Ike Larson. Larson was suspended for the first 5 games of the season for Utah State. There's Jack Lane, and he could set the single-season completion percentage record in Lobo football history this year, Dontrell.
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing the way he's kind of galvanized this team and galvanized his play. Just got himself ready to play, making throws, doing everything that they're asking. You can just see it for himself, what he's able to do.
An important early 3rd and 3 for New Mexico. They motion Keegan Johnson across the formation and hand it off to McKinney inside. He'll get half of what he needed. It'll leave 4th and 1.5 yards just across the New Mexico 43. Another tackle there by Utah State. This one for Bronson Olival.
Well, when you run right there on 3rd and short, Robert, what you're telling yourself is that we're probably going to go for this on 4th down. Again, they've been aggressive. They've done it well. Let's see how it plays out for him.
Lobos 60% success rate on 4th down, 12 out of 20 on the year. That's 5th in the 12-team Mountain West. The Lobos will go in their own territory. They're going to hand it off to McKinney. McKinney goes backside for a first down. Keeps his feet across the 45 to the 46. A very important early 4th down conversion for UNM.
Yeah, and that's more about attitude than anything right there. And the reality is if McKinney keeps his feet up, if you tell him he tries to get to the outside right, if he can keep his feet, it's a touchdown. They had it blocked up and it was edged off. It is a touchdown, but I love the aggressive nature of the Lobos early in this football game.
Twins to the right and a single wide receiver to the left from the pistol this time, and Lane wants to throw. He's rolling to his right, has time, throws it to McKinney. McKinney catches it midfield. Look at the strength of the smaller back, pushing for a first down, a pickup of 11 before he's finally brought down by a former Lobo, Bryson Taylor.
Yeah, there's so many former Lobos, Avenger, Taylor, we'll talk about here today. But what I like what Jack Lane did there, Robert, is he was no nonsense. Get the ball out. Get it to your playmakers, and then you see McKinney finish the run, trucking that defender out, Mr. Taylor out in the open field.
Twins to the right, single wide receiver to the left this time for Lane. Again, pistol setup. First down at the 43 of Utah State. Scott Trey Humphrey gets the call this time, straight up the middle. Not a lot there, maybe a yard and a half before John Miller, the Buck linebacker, a player that the head coach for Utah State, Bronco Mendenhall, pointed out has really turned into a defensive leader for his team.
He really has. John Miller, 16 tackles versus Air Force the year, 62 tackles on the season, 5.5 sacks, and 6.5 tackles for loss. He is their guy that is kind of running the show right now for them on defense.
Scott Trey Humphrey coming off a bounce-back game as well for the Lobos last week in the win over Nevada. 4.5 yards a pop and a rushing touchdown. He had been struggling over the 3 games prior. Lane wants to throw here, has a man wide open. It's caught right at the 35, maybe we'll call it the 36-yard line. It's Keegan Johnson. Easy pitch and catch right there. It'll bring up a 3rd and short, called 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about right there. Just an easy pitch and catch. If you're the Lobos, can Jack Lane just get comfortable making those simple throws? Robert, what is it going to be? Is it going to be deep down the field, or can we just convert on those short throws and brings up a manageable 3rd down here?
And play clean, right?
Yes.
When he turns it over, the Lobos lose. When he doesn't, the Lobos win. It's that simple. 3 turnovers in 3 separate games for Lane. 3 Lobo losses. 3rd and short. He's going to pull it and throw it. Look to his left. There was nothing there. Now eludes a tackler. He'll throw it away. And another 4th and short coming up. The initial read wasn't there, and there wasn't anything available on the backside, Dontrell.
Yeah, and it's, Coach Slice, the offensive coordinator for the Lobos, you think about what he's trying to do there. He probably thinks he's going to run it, go for it on 4th down, so he tries to take a gamble there. And again, for me, I love the attitude. I love the aggressive nature. Try to get them sleeping on a 3rd and short, and then, get them behind. But nothing doing. Utah State right where they're supposed to be. See what the Lobos can draw up here on 4th down.
The backup quarterback, James Lobstein, is what they draw up. That usually means some type of a zone read or read option. He rushed for 6.5 yards a pop. That was on 4 carries last week. He's going to pull it, and he's looking to throw it, and there's nothing there. Lobstein's going to have to use his athleticism. He'll pick up a first down as the flag comes out. James up the near sideline and pulled out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, but let's see if this is coming back.
Yeah, you see Lobstein's ability right there, and just – when it's inside the hashes, it's going to be holding, and that's probably what happened on the scramble.
Now to back the Lobos up 10 if it is, in fact, holding. So they catch Scott Trey Humphrey for the infraction, the Lobo tailback.
Yeah, you see him just coming up. He's stepping up to take on that linebacker, and it was just unnecessary. He did, once he gets outside you see him holding right there and get down, and those are the tough ones as a running back. I've been in those positions. He's barreling down, and the quarterback is right there, but you have to keep your hands, Robert, inside the frame.
So a second 4th down conversion on the opening drive gets negated, and the Lobos will have to punt it. Daniel Hughes in punt formation. The Aussie will strike a high end-over-end kick. Looks like it will be fair, caught cleanly at the 4-yard line. And now maybe a fair catch interference as Javen Jacobs, the former Lobo, took that one in. And perhaps a New Mexico Lobo was too close to him.
Yeah, that's if he didn't impede him. We'll see what they call right there. Maybe they'll converse and pick it up, but that would be an unfortunate penalty in that situation after the great kick. If you're a Lobo.
You were spot on, Dontrell. They talked it over. They pick up the flag and will step aside. Utah State on offense for the first time. Next. Nothing. Dontrell, what about the keys to the game?
Yeah, what you have for the Lobos is they need to run strong and play long. What that simply means is establish the run early, sustain drives, and control the clock. Keeping that dynamic offense off the field. You see it on the first drive there. They were running the ball, kind of stalled. And also for the Lobos, they need to win the money downs. The Lobos are allowing the other offense to convert 43% of their third down opportunities. Have to get off the field. For Utah State, the key to victory, impulse control. How well can they read their keys and stop the run, but not be fooled by play action? And finally, finish the frame. The Aggie offense are converting only 29.9% on third downs this year, 26 of 87.
Split backfield for the quarterback. Bryson Barnes as Utah State starts backed up on his first possession. Jackson Eck in the backfield buries the former Lobo Javen Jacobs for a loss of 1.
Yeah, there you go. Just explosive, getting into the line of scrimmage. And when you're a defense in this situation, Robert, your ears are pinned back and you're thinking, what can I do to create a safety? And there you see the explosiveness and the penetration by the Lobo defense.
The freshman Noah White is the tailback for the graduate senior Bryson Barnes. Barnes will throw from his end zone. A crosser, it's in the air, and it's incomplete. Oh my, it went through the hands of Braden Pagan, and it was sitting there for the taking. It falls harmlessly to the turf.
Yeah, and Braden Pagan is their guy. He is their main guy. 34 catches this year, 546 yards. They expect him to make that catch. Fortunate enough right there that was not picked up as that went high in the air. Any tip, Robert, over the middle is typically an interception.
3rd and 11. Barnes will be throwing from his end zone again. 10 seconds on the play clock. The faithful at University Stadium increasing the volume. They'll split Miles Davis, the tailback, wide left. They're not going to get this one off. Delay of game. Unless they got a timeout. So they get the timeout from the sideline, Dontrell, before multiple flags start flying onto the field here at University Stadium, and they avoid being backed up half the distance. But this is a critical downhill here early in this game. The Lobos can maintain control of the field position battle.
That's exactly what it would be, maintaining control of the field position battle. And as I said in the keys to game, Utah State has not been very good on third downs. They've driven the ball. They've scored, had over 400 total yards of total offense. They've done really well. 4th in the Mountain West in scoring offense, but third down has been their Achilles heel.
For an offense that has been so explosive,
yes,
it's bizarre that they've struggled on third down.
Yes, sir.
Miles Davis, the tailback to the left of the quarterback, Barnes. 3rd and 11, backed up at their own 3. Barnes takes the shotgun snap and settles in against 4-man pressure. He'll fire over the middle. Incomplete. The receiver lost his footing. It was Anthony Garcia, a former quarterback. And the Lobos get off the field on defense here and force a Utah State punt.
And there it is. Now the Utah State Aggies are 26 of 88 on the season. That 29% completion or conversion rate is going to go down. But Lobos right where they were supposed to be, right in frame. And that is the guy that they'll have to watch. Anthony Garcia for them is the playmaker.
Punt formation. Landon Rico. His older brother Ryan punts for the Cincinnati Bengals. Strikes one here. It'll be taken in by McKinney at the 49. McKinney escapes a tackle. He's loose to the left sideline. McKinney has a convoy. Can he get to the edge? McKinney will take it to the house.
Wow, wow, wow. When you see the punt return, what happens on those games is they're sealed off, they're blocked correctly. You have a guy who first goes up and fields it. The Lobos have struggled a little bit with fielding those punts, and they get a guy in there who can field it, and it's explosive. You see it, watch, Robert. You fake to the right, you get everybody flowing that way, and it's called a seal block. And then you just use the speed of McKinney. He gets one more block, and he wants it more than do. The Lobos get in the end zone on the punt return for the first time in a long time.
49-yard punt return touchdown for DJ McKinney, and an Achilles heel of the Lobos throughout the season, Dontrell. They're on their third punt returner. They've muffed several punts this season, and finally they're able to flip it and turn it into a touchdown.
Absolutely. Like I said, fielding, doing those things, you're just not, giving yourself an advantage. Football is about what? Offense, defense, and special teams. And the best of teams make an advantage on special teams. And the Lobos, they've been a liability until today. You see the explosion right there. You see the execution, and they get in the end zone.
They're going to take a longer look at this one. And for my money, Dontrell, what they're peeking at is to see if he stayed in bounds down the sideline right at the finish. You can see he clearly got the ball to the pylon. It's just did that foot touch the sideline before he got to the house.
Yeah, just maybe about, like you're saying, the 5-yard line maybe. Let's see. He's still in there. And that heel will be the thing to look at. That right heel about the 4-yard line that you're seeing there is going to be it. If they can't say, because then remember, it is a touchdown on the field. So they would have to have indisputable evidence based on what you're looking at. For me, it's a touchdown, but to see if that heel was hovering above the line.
You're absolutely right, Dontrell, and you can see it very clearly from this angle. It's going to be the right heel, not there, but right here. Did that right heel or right toe touch the sideline? From that higher angle, it doesn't look like.
And what they'll be looking for, Robert, is the green, right? Like you said, referee Ken Ray will be under there looking at the green. Was there green in between his foot and the sideline? And they see green grass, so we'll see.
Let's hear from our head referee, Ken Ray.
After further review, the ruling on the field of the touchdown is upheld.
It figured if you're going to win this football game against a quality opponent, you're going to need some sudden change plays, whether it's a big turnover or perhaps even a big special teams play, Dontrell. The Lobos have now gotten a kick return touchdown this year, and they have a punt return touchdown.
Yeah, and it came at a really good time. You talked about field position, and I remember being back there on those punts sometimes with the field position. You always thought touchdown because there was nothing. It couldn't go over your head. You were going to be exactly what you needed to be. Lobos get one in the end zone.
The point after is good from Luke Drizwicki, the 4-year starting place kicker of the Lobos. The dance step down the left sideline for DJ McKinney. 49 yards to the house, and the Lobos up 7-0. Helping people live the healthiest lives possible. And by Ford Trucks. Built better. Build stronger. Built Ford tough. There's a look at the touchdown maker. DJ McKinney Jr., the first Lobo punt return touchdown since October of last year. He's now at the University of Arizona. Luke Weissong, the local product, 79-yarder against the Air Force Falcons on October 12 last season. That's Grant Glasgow, the transfer and kickoff specialist for UNM. He'll kick it short. It'll be taken in, or it'll land and bounce inside the 5, and he stumbles into the end zone where he'll be touched there. Kahanu Davis with a poor decision to let that one bounce, and the officials will confer.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because if he doesn't touch, then it'll just kind of be a touchback, but he touched it right around, I think they'll see where there was a touchback on the 1-yard line, but it looks like it could be close.
If he touched it in the field of play, Dontrell, it'll be a safety.
Correct.
This is an enormous decision.
Yeah, it really is. They go for the pooch kick where you kick it up and you kind of get it out of the way of their hands. We'll see what they say.
He touched, I think he got possession of it in the field of play.
The returner possesses the ball in the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
So you can hear the ruling on the field. They're going to say that he got possession in the end zone. But my first look at the replay, Dontrell, I feel like that he actually got control of the ball at the 1-yard line.
It's clear. And again, we're not there, and we're not, knowing what they're looking at. But maybe there's like, hey, what do we call here? But to me, it looked like he possessed the ball on the 1-yard line. Then his momentum took him into the end zone.
An absolutely massive break for the Utah State Aggies. They motion a man out of the backfield and hand it off inside to Davis. And you can see what a tough runner Davis is. He's a bigger back at 215 pounds. Jackson Eck is there along with Tavian Combs to make the tackle. It's a special day, for a lot of these Lobos playing against their former teammates. And Tavian Combs has a ton of former teammates in the defensive backfield of Utah State. He wants to show out here today.
For sure, all three of their safeties on that side, Noah Avenger, Bryson Taylor, all those guys, they're all his friends, and he wants to play and play well.
Barnes, the quarterback, on a play fake, rolling to his left. He'll fire it out left side. Beautiful catch made by Braden Pagan for a first down pickup of 12 out to the 37.
Yeah, and they talk about this offensive side of the ball for the Utah State Aggies. The receiving core is so new. That's the transfer from UCLA, and you see his hands right there. He's their main guy. Almost 16 yards, over 16 yards a catch this season.
Career high 147 receiving yards against Air Force earlier this year. There goes Davis, and he's loose into the secondary. He runs through Tavian Combs before he's brought down by John Johnson. He'll pick up 11 yards and move the chains again out of the Wildcat that time.
Yeah, we talked about Davis in the opener, right? Averaging 6.2 yards a carry and almost 70 yards a game. So he is their guy, but we'll have to find a way to stop him today.
They go empty here. Throw it out of the backfield of the freshman Noah White. Two Lobos converge. White breaks 3 tackles before he's brought down at the 39-yard line of the Lobos. Outstanding pursuit by Brian Booker to save what maybe was even a touchdown.
Yeah, Booker in hot pursuit. You got to tackle in the open field. They get it out to one of their playmakers. Undresses a couple guys in the open field and is able to pick up more yards after the contact.
Utah State on the march in Lobo territory just inside the 40-yard line. They show jet sweep. They run jet sweep. They give it to the freshman White. White able to stiff arm Eck and be able to get to the sideline before another freshman for the Lobos, C.J. McBean, runs him out of bounds.
Yeah. You see multiple tackles right there. You see Eck getting there. You've seen, another outside backer getting out there, and then McBean laid the wood on that hit. But you see the toughness and the energy in this football game early.
That's a loss of almost 2. 2nd and 12 from the gun. Again, they empty out the backfield. And let's see if Utah State jumped first as the Lobos break across the line of scrimmage.
Illegal snap. 55 on the offense. 5 yards.
So Jimmy Liston, the Purdue transfer at center, called for an illegal snap.
What happens is you get so many people up there on the line of scrimmage, and you're either going to bring all of them or not, and it looks like, oh my gosh, who's coming? And then that's what forces them to kind of jump and get a little anxious.
So 2nd and 17. From the gun, Barnes looking to throw. Has time. He'll tuck it away and take off across the original line of scrimmage. And inside the 35 of the Lobos, pushed out of bounds far side by Jackson Eck. Very important pickup there. It'll leave a 3rd down and 5 after a gain of 12.
Yeah, Barnes is exactly that. He can do it. He has 4 games of 1 rushing touchdown and 1 passing touchdown. 2nd in the nation, tied with a few other people, but he's definitely capable with his legs.
Barnes is the only Utah State quarterback ever with 3 pass TDs and 2 rush TDs in a single game. They go back shoulder, and a flag comes out. The intended receiver was Pagan, and there was a lot of hand fighting down there.
The side judge was right there on top of that, and they maybe call offensive pass interference. It looked like more to me, but we'll see. Or like you said, just hand gesturing.
Feels like the initial indication is it's against the Lobos. They get the Idaho transfer, Abraham Williams.
What Barnes is going to do there is just kind of throw it up in the air, as you can see, and there's a jostling. That happens in football. You got your hands checking, and maybe they just got him a little early on the hold. But
so they're in the red zone. First and 10 at the 19 of the Lobos. The change at quarterback. It's Anthony Garcia. Garcia will be run out of bounds on the near side by Jackson Eck. And Garcia is a triple threat. He is one of just 8 FBS players this season with a pass TD, a receiving TD, and a rushing TD, and they'll use him in the Wildcat.
Yeah, you see it right there. He ran for a touchdown versus Air Force, threw for a touchdown versus Hawaii, and has caught touchdowns, obviously, this season. But the former quarterback doing really well at receiver, so the Lobos absolutely have to be aware of him when he's in the football game.
They're going to catch Miles Davis, the tailback, for holding, and back him up 10. I feel like the Lobos played that Wildcat really well. Jackson Eck was in pursuit. CJ McBean was first there. They're going to throw a lot of different looks at you, Dontrell, and New Mexico was up to the task there.
For sure, got to get them spread out.
Empty backfield, show jet motion and fake that. And on a 1st and 20, they'll throw. Barnes looking into single coverage. McBean with the interception in the end zone. That'll go for a touchback. C.J. McBean, the true freshman from Long Beach, California, with his first career pick.
Yeah, Barnes just trying to make something play, maybe get another pass interference, but C.J. McBean turns and finds the football. Robert, you've heard me say it over the years. The best DBs are able to be in position, but then turn and find the football. And as you see right here on the replay, is he's looking, he finds his eyes, he keeps in contact, and then he turns and finds the football. And the Lobos get the interception that they've so desperately needed this season with turnovers.
Indeed, Dontrell, the turnover margin has probably been the unfriendliest stat to UNM football in 2025. That has got to be a huge sigh of relief from the turquoise sideline.
Absolutely. You see Utah State, they're driving, they're doing their thing. And again, turnovers are what makes a football game go if you're the Lobos.
McBean looked like the receiver, not Brady Boyd. Inside give to Damon Bankston. Looking good there for a pickup of 8. Out beyond the New Mexico 27 before he's tackled by Brevin Hamlin, the Buck safety.
Yeah, what I liked here is that the run there and then they get right back on it. They've done really well.
Going to hand it off to Bankston. Bankston has room. Slices and dices for a first down and more out to the 33-yard line. Gain of 6. Move the chains.
Yeah, you just see they've done really well this season. The Lobos on 2-minute offense or hurry up, or where they're not huddling, keeping the defense, Robert, on their heels, and 2 runs for a first down.
Tempo was so good in the 2-minute drill for the Lobos in consecutive games against San Jose State and Boise State. They broke it out earlier last week against Nevada in their 3rd consecutive home win to start the year. Show jet sweep. This is actually a pass to the freshman Ziel Smith. And he'll turn the left corner to the 40-yard line for a gain of 7. Carson Tujay, the defensive end, in on the tackle.
Yeah, they just try to get Ziel Smith, their shifty freshman who's, they're expecting big things from, but you see him just on the fly sweep motion, and now they flip that forward, because if he drops it, it's an incomplete pass, but a great gain on first down.
They had it blocked up on the edge, too, Dontrell. That was backside pursuit. Great hustle from Utah State to prevent a bigger gain. 2nd and medium here, 2nd and 4. Lane from the gun, throwing all the way. Plenty of time, surveying the field, rolling to his right, looking for some help, and he's going to take off and glide to the first down on the far sideline. Steps out of bounds at the 44 for a pickup of 5.
Yeah, when you talk about Jack Lane, right, the games after UCLA, just the San Jose game, the Boise game, just where there was errors and mistakes, right there, decisive. It's not open. I run and pick up the first down. That's exactly what winning football is all about. Can your signal caller make good decisions? It's not just about throwing the football. It's not just about, throwing big plays. It's, can I make good decisions in those moments? Again,
they show jet motion, hand it off to Bankston, and Utah State bottles it up this time. Multiple tacklers there. Bronson Olaval, Salt Lake City product, and a junior, was there first. Had 14 tackles and his first ever fumble recovery to go with those career-high 14 tackles in the win over San Jose State last week. Good look at Lane in the center of the New Mexico huddle there. He's a true field general. After 3 years at Idaho with his head coach and his offensive coordinator, Luke Schleissner, coming to Albuquerque and UNM with them. He knows this offense front and back. Design quarterback draw. Look at Lane showing off the athleticism near the line to gain. Probably a half-yard short. Pickup of 9.5 yards before he's brought down by the former Lobo, Noah Avenger.
Yeah, Jack said, hold on. It's not just Lobstein that can use his feet. Keep me in the game. Give me an opportunity to show my wheels. I had the big run last week. I can do this.
Lobos make a change at running back, so Utah State on a 3rd and short can change it up. Defensively, Humphrey is the tailback. The big back gets it, and the big back gets the first down. That looks very much like the 4th and short the Lobos picked up to get to the victory formation last week here against Nevada on homecoming.
Yeah, victory formation, a favorite formation of mine, but give it to your guys. Let your big men up front do their thing and pick up the first down. Nothing crazy, nothing sexy, nothing, just exactly what it needs to be.
Lane continues to be his efficient self. 4 of 5 passing, 26 yards. The Lobos have rushed for 37 yards, and they've possessed the ball most of this first quarter. That's Dorian Thomas, the big tight end, motioning to the right of the formation. And a play fake. And they throw it over the middle. A wide open Cade Keith tripped up at the 22-yard line. That's a pickup of 22 yards, and Ike Larson saved a touchdown.
Yeah, he really did. But again, if you're, like I said in those keys, if you're running strong, then your plays can be long. They rode the running back there. You see him, and then just right over the top. I remember that was the Tebow play. They used to do that, just ride and pop, ride and pop. And that's exactly what it did. And you see the touch right there by Mr. Lane, dropping it in.
We saw that last week when he threw it to DJ McKinney on a broken play out of the backfield, dropped it in over a backer that was in short coverage as McKinney sprinted up the sideline. It was a huge gain. Heavier look for the Lobos here with Humphrey as the tailback, and Scottre has room off left tackle, pounds ahead for 5. Brought down by Hamblin. The Lobo offense is showing all of its variety here early on, Dontrell.
Great word there, variety, versatility, not one-dimensional. When you're doing that as an offense, it's extremely hard to stop them. What can you do? Where are they coming from? You don't know. You know, Coach Mendenhall and company, they're on their heels right now, and the Lobos ride the momentum of that interception by C.J. McBean in the end zone.
On a 2nd and 5, James Lobstein had come in to play quarterback as the first quarter comes to a close here in Albuquerque. An outstanding start for UNM. They score on a punt return touchdown of 49 yards from DJ McKinney. Here's Mr. McKinney with a little dance step off the catch. He gets the left sideline. The Lobos up by 7 after 1 in Albuquerque. Mountain West Football is presented by Intermountain Health, helping people live the healthiest lives possible. And by Ford Trucks, built better, build stronger, built Ford tough. Lane at quarterback, rolling to his right, will flip it. It's caught down to the 5-yard line. Cade Keith, New Mexico first down. Gain of 9. It's 1st and goal.
And I think a play that he doesn't get enough credit for is his escapability and his, kind of improvisation, what he did right there, waiting to see, and he just kind of dumps it down at the last second. Makes something out of nothing.
Lobos will set up in the pistol, and they go heavy. Isaiah Silliman with that fullback, H-back position. The Lobos run the play fake, looking to throw the slant, and it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Lobos very fortunate that one hit the turf.
Yeah, sometimes you can trick yourself. McKinney walks into the end zone. It was wide open on the give there. If you see him, if he just hands it to him, it's a walk-in touchdown. But they try to get the zone read and get the slant behind there, which is a great play. But if it doesn't work, you disaster.
Ike Larson knocked down the pass. 2nd and goal from the 5. Pistol set up once again. McKinney is the tailback, and DJ's going to get it. He has room, and he's nailed at the 1-yard line. Third down and goal. Brevin Hamlin with another tackle. We've been calling his name a ton, the boundary safety for Utah State.
Again, you have, 2 plays to get in the end zone from the 2-yard line. Draw up your best play, and sometimes it's just simple.
Eighth tackle already today for Hamlin, Dontrell.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So third and goal from just outside the 1. Pistol set up. McKinney is the tailback. Looks like Utah State has taken timeout. Their second of the half. We're going to head to a break. Early second quarter. The Lobos threatening. Deep in the red zone. On top of Utah State 7-0 on Altitude Sports.
Want the latest on today's games? Just tell Siri, show me Mountain West football scores.
Critical third and goal from outside the 1 for UNM coming up. Lobos 7, Utah State 0. Early second quarter. Show jet motion. Handed off to McKinney. And McKinney, did he get there? No indication. He's in. Lobo touchdown.
Sometimes you just do what you do. Sometimes you don't get fancy. You hand the ball off, let somebody who has more will than the other team, and you drive it up in there, and the Lobos get that touchdown, that second touchdown of the game. McKinney's second touchdown of the game.
McKinney's on a paint heater right now, Dontrell. Punt return TD, rushing TD, coming off the win over Nevada on homecoming last week, where he found the house from 22 and from 2 on the ground. He's becoming the touchdown maker.
He really is. And in talking to Coach Slice this week, he talked about, dictating what the Aggies can do with the personnel. He talked about being in 11 personnel and doing things that you're supposed to do opposite, being in 12 personnel, which is, one tight end, 2 backs. And he dictates what they can do based on his personnel. He was
touchdown. This previous play is under further review.
So we'll see where the ball was when he gets in. But again, Coach Slice dictating kind of what he wants the personnel from the Aggies to be, to maybe trick them. Is I love the chess game from offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. One of my favorite things about football.
All right, let's take a peek, see what we've got on replay here. This is a really good tight look. Where's the ball when his knee hits the ground?
Yeah.
Really hard to see from that angle.
See.
Now from the end zone camera.
Again, it might be one of those things. The call was a touchdown and show something on a replay that can dispute it. And if you can, it has to stand.
What about from this angle, Dontrell?
Yeah, it looks like his knee is down about the 1.
Has the ball already broken the plane?
I'm going to say perhaps it's the half-yard line, but can they see enough under there to go opposite of that? I think it.
Really quick review.
Further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Officially a 1-yard touchdown plunge for DJ McKinney, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Luke Drizwicki on for the PAT to make it 14-0.
Yeah, the start you want if you're the Lobos, right? You get the special teams play, you get the ball after the interception, Robert, and drive all the way down. Like you said, 13 plays, 80 yards. Eat up some clock and get in the end zone.
The extra point is good. The Lobos have controlled the football game from the outset. New Mexico on top, 14-0. Dominating the contest early on with 2 extended drives and a punt return TD. We're back at University Stadium on a Chamber of Commerce afternoon in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Late fall here. As we approach Halloween, you can see that New Mexico Lobos, Dontrell, in a stretch where they play 4 of their last 6 at home. That's what's coming up following today's contest And the Lobos, of course, looking to get bowl eligible for the first time since 2016.
Yeah, the schedule sets up favorably for them, right? If you have an opportunity and you're trying to go bowling, you have to take care of business at home, and that's what the Lobos have to be able to do, right? You have, 3 of your last 4, counting today, at home, and let's see how they finish down the stretch.
The Lobos have possessed the ball for 12 minutes so far, less than 5 minutes of possession time for Utah State. A monster drive of 13 plays, 80 yards, and nearly 7 minutes of clock time culminates with the McKinney touchdown from 1 yard. Grant Glasgow strikes this one and smashes it through the end zone. Feels like UNM is kind of dipping into the bag of tricks a little bit here today. Not that they haven't all season, but Glasgow's got the leg, but they go short kickoff on the first one, and it almost turned into a turnover. Probably should have turned into a safety and a turnover. The Lobos would have gotten the ball back.
Oh, it worked. He was down on the 1 yard line, but they just saw it differently and made a catch, and that's okay, right? They make the big bucks to play to make the calls. We're just up here broadcasting, but here we are. Can the Lobos figure out what's going on again on defense?
There's a pitch play off the play fake, little option action, and up the near left sideline goes Javen Jacobs, run out of bounds at the 30 after a gain of 5.
Yeah, and again, just to talk about what you were saying, you change it up on kickoff. You change it up on special teams. You have an opportunity to affect the game when things are going to be close. When it's potentially a one-possession game, what can you do to sway the game in your favor? That's special teams.
Bryson Barnes, you would expect him to start to get it going in the pass game, but the Lobos get some pressure, and they run him out of bounds on the near side. Combs was there. Help from Swain. Very close to the line of the game. Put it at the 34. It'll be a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and Barnes is, like you said, going to start, trying to put his imprint on this football game in multiple ways. Running the football, throwing the football. See if the Lobos have an answer.
The tailback is Jacobs. And it's Barnes tucking it away and leaping the pile. He will sacrifice his body, and he goes head over heels across the line of scrimmage for a 1st down. Wow. It was really fun talking with Kevin McGivern, the offensive coordinator of Utah State. And he said that sometimes he feels like Barnes takes a few too many risks with his body.
He definitely said, I wish he would do less, but he's going to feel that. I know that when you land on the ground, it hurts.
Play fake. Newby with some pressure, and they get it. Sack. Mercury Swain all the way back in the 32.
And that's what the Lobos have done so well this year. And talking to Coach Spence, the defensive coordinator for the Lobos, they felt like they've been able to get home, Robert. They feel like they've been able to create energy without blitzes and without all the crazy stuff. And you see it, coverage sack. You got to give kudos to the secondary first for covering, and then everybody else getting home.
First career sack for Mercury Swain. Incompletion there, looking for Pagan. It'll be 3rd and 15 coming up. John Johnson in on the coverage for the Lobos.
Yeah, again, the Lobos, what can they do on 3rd down? We talked about Utah State and their struggles. Less than 30% conversion on 3rd down. Lobos playing well. Have already got off the field on 3rd down. See if they dial up a blitz here.
You got to look at Spence Nowinski, the Lobo defensive coordinator. What does he dial up here? It's 4-man pressure, but they bring the extra man. And Eck chasing the quarterback, and he'll have to throw it away as Barnes heaves it out of bounds, and Utah State will have to punt it away.
Yeah, they look rattled right there. They do. The Lobos decide to kind of set 7 in coverage and try to get home, and then Jackson Eck is going to spy the quarterback there and watch him and Bryson Barnes, and he has nowhere to go, nowhere to throw, running for his life. Lobos get off the field again. And the 3rd down conversions that we talked about for the Aggies rearing their ugly head early.
Good look at Bryson Barnes there, the quarterback for Utah State. Grew up on his family's pig farm in Milford, Utah, about 300 miles south of Logan. Logan's, of course, at the far north end of the Beehive State. End over end punt, fair caught at the 31 by DJ McKinney. He is the 3rd iteration of the Lobo punt return game. following Michael Buckley and Sean Miller. And I think the Lobos like what they see so far.
Yeah, and then Buckley obviously for, injury reasons and, kind of early in the game, just decisions. And then Miller, maybe, the UCLA, a couple of, decisions making. But what makes a good punt returner, Robert, and I'll tell you, by far, it is the hardest thing to do in football. You've talked about it, like, I don't care. Nerves. You have to have nerves of steel. You have to be confident. You have to focus. And so you have to get somebody in there who, one, can just catch the ball. And then if he's elite and can make people miss and run, then you're all the way in. But the Lobos feel like, hey, obviously with that punt return, that they found a guy who can catch the ball, one, and then take it to the house, two.
James Lobstein at quarterback. Scottrey Humphrey, the tailback. Lobstein's going to keep it. Designed quarterback run and a pickup of 10 for Lobstein. Started at New Haven. Transferred to Sussex Community College. Now to Albuquerque and UNM. His first ever Division I college football pass was in the fourth quarter against Boise State back on October 11. It was a completion, 6 yards to Scottrey Humphrey. He led a touchdown drive of 75 yards.
Yeah, and you see it. Coach Slice is talking to him. He's a weapon. Let's get him in. Let's give him an opportunity to do what he does, and he was able to do it on that play as well.
Love when the Lobos go split backfield here. Bankston and McKinney, and they're going to throw it. Lane is rolling to his right, and he gets it away just in time. It's batted down. Looking out there for the tight end, Dorian Thomas, and Brevin Hamlin with the PBU.
Yeah, Brevin Hamlin was right there in play. Kind of wrapped Thomas around on the outside. Thought maybe they'd throw a flag there. But, again, for me, good no call. You let the boys play. But as long as that happens on both sides, you're okay with that. If the touchy hands and all the hand fighting is not called on either side, that's the football you want.
Nice play by Hamlin. He's having a heck of a game defensively so far for Utah State. Trips to the left for the Lobos on a 2nd and 10. The tailback is Humphrey. Lobstein back at quarterback. Humphrey is the lead blocker. Lobstein evades a tackle. Dances outside near midfield. Tiptoes out at the 49. Gain of 7. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, D'Angelo Mays, the other former Lobo, comes up flying on the outside, and Lobstein just undressed him on the outside and was able to pick up a bigger gain.
Lobstein has terrific feet, doesn't he, Don?
He does.
How about the Zia logo on the side of those helmets?
Oh, man. I could talk all night about the swag of the outfits today, the uniforms today.
Twins to the left, two tight ends to the right. Pistol setup, show jet motion, handed off to Humphrey. Humphrey is nailed in the backfield. Lobos are going to have a 4th down decision coming up. That's a loss of a yard.
Yeah, again, they may do what they did last week where they're showing the zone rich and then showing the zone run, and then Lane pulling it because he was wide open if he had pulled it right there. But penetration early, and the Lobos have to punt.
Another opportunity for the pin punt here for the Aussie Daniel Hughes. There he is. Came in with just 15 punts on the season, the 6th fewest in all of FBS. Testament to the Lobo offense and also to the number of 4th down attempts. Aussie rules style end over end kick will land at the 9, bounce ahead. The Lobos are in perfect position, and Abe Williams will catch it at the 1-yard line. Maybe the former Lobo Javen Jacobs would have been better served to get over to the sideline and make that catch, but how about Daniel Hughes with a perfect pin punt? Just over 9 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Lobos on top, 14-0. We're back in Albuquerque, and there's a look at the former Lobo head football coach Bronco Mendenhall on the Utah State sideline as he patrols the opposite sideline that he did last season. That's what's left for Utah State. They come in at 2-1 in league, Dontrell. The Lobos at 1-2 in conference.
Yeah, 4-3 overall, and you see their things.
Jackson Eck will bring him down for his safety. He nails the freshman Noah White. New Mexico nearly had a safety early on, and they get one here.
And that is the energy you want right there. We talked about Eck. Explosive, reading, the coach's son, just smart. Another TFL right there. But for me, it's the vision, the no-nonsense fly into the end zone, fly to the ball, and the Lobos get the safety. And again, the combination, Robert, you get the punt and you get him down inside the one, and then the very next play you pounce. And you see it right there, safety in numbers. You see the enthusiasm. You see the explosion right there. Lobos on the board again.
Jackson Eck has an incredible motor, Dontrell. We've talked about that so often. But it's far more than that, isn't it? It's his ability to diagnose in real time how fast he's able to see what's coming and get himself in the correct position to make the play.
That right there is exactly what it is, being an intelligent human being, an intelligent football player, the smartness on the football field, dissecting, and then be decisive. So you can be decisive, you can be smart, but then you're slow. Or you can be slow, but you're smart. If you put them both together, you have Jackson Eck.
It is the first Lobo safety since 2018. Who'd they do it against 7 years ago? Utah State. It was after a fumbled handoff. This one, just a pure TFL in the end zone for the remarkable Jackson Eck. 16-0 Lobos, and they get the football. The free kick will be taken in at the 14. It's Bankston. Bankston through the hole, spins off the tackle to the 43. Return of 29 before the kickoff man, Zach Robbins, brings him down.
Again, great field position. That's what you want. You get Demond Bankston an opportunity to take one back as he did before this season. And the Lobos are in business with great field position. Again, good football teams, Robert, do what? They don't let off the pedal. They keep moving forward. They stay aggressive. They stay explosive. For me, look to get Demond Bankston going here.
The Lobos have been notorious for slow starts, Dontrell. They have really flipped the script the last couple of weeks. Play fake. Lane looking to throw. He's got a deep out and a wide open Keegan Johnson out of bounds near sideline at the 40-yard line for a gain of 17.
And those are the plays that you see Jack Lane makes when he's confident. The offensive line giving him plenty of time. You see it. Steps up, gets his feet set. Robert, so imperative that good quarterbacks get their feet set when they have time. Keegan wide open for the big play on first down.
Lane 7 of 10 for 76 yards. The Lobos could score here. It would be a 3-possession game midway through the second quarter. Bankston on the counter. Bankston, nice first down pickup of 3 before he's brought down. The Sam linebacker, Chris Joe, got him from the backside. He's a freshman out of Brentwood, California, SoCal way, LA Basin. Joe's dad, Charles, played at Montana State.
And he's a guy, right? That Chris Joe, third in the Mountain West in sacks, 2.3 a game.
Twins to the right, single wide to the left, single setback for Lane. And he's looking to throw. Fires it left side. Diving attempt at the 29-yard line by Sean Miller. A spectacular catch for the Illinois transfer. And a Lobo first down.
Yeah, beautiful throw out there. Just on the quick out, you take what the defense gives you.
Lobos go tempo here. Try the left side. Give him 2. Bankston brought down. 2nd 8 coming. Personnel changes for the Lobos. Bankston out. McKinney in. Inside the 7-minute mark here. Midpoint second quarter. Lobos driving. Motion the 2 tight ends, Keith and Thomas, to the left side of the formation. A play fake in Lane looking to throw. He has Johnson and Keegan unable to escape the tackle of the sure-handed former Lobo Bryson Taylor.
Yeah, you see Bryson, the former Lobo, like you said, getting out to the to the flats there and making the open field tackle on Keegan.
Give him a yard. 3rd and 6.
And I beg your pardon earlier, Robert, the Utah State defense is 3rd in the Mountain West with 16 total sacks, 2.3 not Mr. Chris Joe himself.
Twins to the left, twins to the right. They go 4 wide. You've got the tight end Thomas slotted left. Lane is looking right. He feels pressure as Utah State brought an extra man, and he'll have to throw it away. That was the linebacker Bronson Olivau, and the blitz got him.
Yeah, they just dialed up a blitz right there, not letting Jack Lane kind of beat you. They're saying, hey, we're going to dictate what he does, and the Lobos don't able to pick up the first down.
Luke Drizwicki on for the field goal attempt.
But again, it's important. You're in field goal range. Great decisions. Those things aren't in the box score. All they look like is an incompletion in the box score. But the reality is, you didn't make a poor decision. You allow your kicker, Drizwicki, to get on and have an opportunity.
Drizwicki strikes the 41-yarder with a flag down. The kick is good on a 4th and 6. If it's offside, Utah State, do the Lobos bring the offense back on a 4th and 1?
You bet yourself they do. Coach Eck, if this is offsides and 4th and 1, they're coming back out, especially where it is on the field.
Offsides. Number 18 on the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the field goal is good.
So Lobos will take the points and take the 3-score lead. Drizwicki good from 41, and it's 19-0 New Mexico. Drizwicki, by the way, first miss of the season last week against Nevada on a kick that went right over the top of the upright, and it was impossible to tell in any replay whether it missed or it was good. The officials on the field looking right up on the upright, called it no good. Have to absolutely defer to that. But Drizwicki is now 8 of 9 in field goals on the year, Dontrell.
Yeah, he's been a weapon, too. The Lobos have been able to count on him. He's kind of honed in on that and found a comfort in kicking the ball, and is somebody they can count on.
That kick last week was his first missed kick of any kind this season. Grant Glasgow, once again, the kickoff man for New Mexico. The freshman Noah White is deep for Utah State. Glasgow's kick sails 6 yards deep. And a touchback. Seven-play drive, netted just 34 yards. The Lobos take the 41-yard field goal from Drizwicki to go in front 19-0. And right now, everything is going the Lobos' way. Coach Mendenhall and the Aggies are on their heels, Dontrell.
Yeah, they really are. Only 51 total yards of offense for this vaunted Utah State Aggie offense. They've been absolutely explosive, Robert. Over their last 5 games, they've averaged 477 yards of offense, struggling here today.
Barnes looking to throw. That's Jacobs in the flat. Jacobs wrapped up after a gain of 6, maybe 7 by John Johnson. One of the Lobos' outstanding corners. Went to St. John Bosco, a superpower program in the LA area. Transferred in to Albuquerque and UNM from Montana State.
And sometimes it's matchups. Sometimes you can do a lot of things against certain teams, but if a coach can scheme it up the right way, you can struggle.
2nd and 4. This is Miles Davis. They would sure love to get him going. Give him 5. And a first down pickup before Brett Carhu makes the tackle.
Yeah, Robert, if you think about the last 5 games for Utah State, 49, 48, 35, 26, and 30. And there's 0 here as of right now.
First and 10 Aggies at the 36. Inside handoff to Davis, makes a man miss, and he's loose. He might take it to the house. One man to beat in a foot race to the pylon, and Davis will get there. That'll go for 64 yards and a Utah State touchdown.
And that's how quickly they can strike. He had a 50-yard touchdown already this season. They block it up, and then they get to the house. And that's exactly what they've been wanting and needing. Lobos just kind of out of position there. You see Jackson Eck goes left right there. They pull a guard and kind of a false read him to get him out of the way. And Davis off to the races.
Davis with his 4th rushing touchdown. The Aggies showed a little bit of the swinging gait on the PAT, but now get into the more conventional formation for Tanner Rinker. And the extra point try. The kick is good, and the Aggies are on the board. 19-7 in favor of New Mexico. Miles Davis, speed to burn, and he's fully 215 pounds on that 5'11 frame, Dontrell.
Yeah, he can absolutely go, can run, is strong and powerful, and you see him open up right there and running away at the end. But again, the key thing was pulling Jackson Eck, the linebacker, who is going to decisively see that play, and he's reading the other back going the other way. They get him out of position and run in right behind him.
And you can see that's quick strike if there ever was a quick strike, and that's what they do, Dontrell. They came in with 42 explosive plays. That's plays of 20 or more yards on the season. Add that one to the list, and it's a house call.
Yeah, it is. And again, that was a simple, like I said, zone read with the option of the pullback on the top, and explosive. You block it up and you get your best players the ball. House call.
By the way, that total of explosive plays was 15th in all of FBS. Davis, a BYU transfer, super senior. He was at BYU for 5 seasons. Kickoff to the back line of the end zone there from Zachary Robbins, and the Lobos will take it over 1st and 10 at their 25. Well, that is what they do, isn't it? We talked about it very early on. This is not an offense that stays on the field. They struggle on third downs mysteriously, but boy, can they come up with the big plays, and that's why they came in averaging 34 points per game, 4th in the conference and 37th
There is no foul for offsides on the
in the
kicking
country.
team because the result of the play was a touchback. First down.
So no flag. So yeah, the super explosive offense for Utah State, we saw it there from Davis.
Yeah, for sure. They're averaging 34, but in their last 5 games, almost 38. 477 yards of offense, 290 passing, 187 rushing just in their last 5 games. So you know what they can do. You highlighted the third down struggles, but if you're not getting into third down like they haven't been, then it doesn't really matter.
Offside, number 36 on the kicking team. It'll be tacked on 5 yards. First down.
So the flag is enforced, and the Lobos will start at the 30. After a discussion, UNM gets an extra 5 yards of field position, and Jack Lane in at quarterback. The tailback is Bankston to his left. Lane looking to throw on first down. Steps up, fires, has his man. It's caught. First down and more. Cade Keith with another catch. Gain of 14 before he's brought down by Noah Avenger, the former Lobo.
Yeah, what you love right there is the side adjust. The bound or the field blitzer with the wide side came. The running back came across and picked it up beautifully. You see DeMond Bateson come and then pick it up, and then Jack Lane steps up right there, Robert, and fires one right into the breadbasket for the first down.
Keith is the Lobos' leading receiver so far with 4 catches already for 50 yards. Lane is dealing 10 out of 14. Play fake, and they're looking to take a deep shot, and instead he has Keith in the flat, and Keith near the line to gain, run out of bounds far sideline by Matyra Brown, just shy of the first down marker, pickup of 9.
Again, a couple motions right there, change of direction, and you have a deep route that he could potentially throw to. But again, great decision. Had the seam route open. Maybe was afraid of the backside corner coming to do that. But again, a smart call, dumps it down, and almost picks up the first down.
2nd and a half yard at the Utah State 46. Do you take a shot on 2nd and short? You're going to throw. It's Miller, caught, first down grab, 40-yard line, pickup of 7. Chain mover, tackled by Noah Flores, the field side corner.
Again, Coach Slice talking about it this week and sitting down right where he's talking about what can we do to dictate what the Utah State Aggie defense does. Coach Mendenhall, genius at what he does those things very well on defense. How can we get him out of his comfort zone and dictate what we want? He was able to do that. A second and short, normally what? A running down. Nope. We throw it out for the first down.
And it does appear the Lobos, if Dorian Thomas is receiving some extra attention, they are spreading it around in the pass game. Down the middle, a wide open Keith is all alone. Makes the catch, looking for a block. Thomas gives it to him. One more block, and Keith is in. 40-yard Lobo touchdown.
Exactly what you talked about. He is the leading receiver right now. Keith is open. He's on fire. They're gonna double team and triple team Dorian Thomas. So what are they gonna do? We'll go to our other guy Keith, and he is dominating the Aggie defense right now. Great play call.
Unbelievable play design, and Keith breaks it outside. How about the hustle of DJ McKinney to make the final block to get him to the paint, Dontrell? He was in the backfield on the play fake.
That's exactly what you want. In big-time games like this, your big-time players do other things than just running a kickoff back or running a punt back or getting in the end zone. He's getting up, helping his teammate get into the end zone. Gotta love that if you're a Lobo.
A remarkable start to this game for the New Mexico Lobos, on top 26-7. They scored the first 19, and they answer Utah State's big play with a quick strike drive of their own. Just 2 minutes, 4 plays, 70 yards, and a house call.
Yeah, house call. And again, you throw it out. You see Jack Lane do his thing with his hands, a decisive play. But again, Coach Slice and company, you ride the running back. You get those linebackers to step up, and you throw it right behind them. And then again, the effort plays by DJ McKinney. The effort plays by Dorian Thomas. They're not pouting that he didn't get the ball, that he's being triple teamed. He gets up, blocks, helps Keith get into the end zone.
Cade Keith's second receiving touchdown of the season. His first was against New Mexico State in the win here in front of a sold-out crowd at University Stadium. And you can see the details of that drive, Dontrell. That was a very different animal. You had a couple of big plays over the top to Cade Keith, and the Lobos with a lightning strike.
Yeah, decision-making, decisiveness, execution, coupled with genius play calling. That's what gets you in the end zone.
Glasgow with another kickoff. White awaits at the goal line for Utah State. Glasgow with a monster leg sails that one 4 yards through the back of the end zone. He hasn't been fully healthy this season either, Dontrell. I think we're finally seeing him at his very best. He was dealing with a calf issue in his plant leg, but my gosh, does he have a powerful leg.
I mean, it's going 2 or 3 yards, 4 yards beyond the back of the end zone. That is an absolute weapon, because you don't allow their dynamic backfield guys to return the play. Their returners don't have an opportunity to return, so that is an absolute weapon.
2 minutes, 44 seconds, and one timeout for Utah State. This is Davis. Davis brought down in the backfield by Darren Agu. The Londoner with a TFL. And if there was another Achilles heel for the Aggies offense beside their third down troubles, Dontrell, it's too much penetration, giving up 25 sacks coming in at the bottom of the conference and 48 TFLs, also 12th out of 12 Mountain West teams.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and the lot of yards that they've done, they've struggled to protect. They've struggled with the offensive line, and there you see it on that play.
Loss of 6. Barnes brought down by Keyshawn James Newby. Another sack for James Newby with a flag out. He'll have 7.5 TFLs and 5.5 sacks pending this infraction.
Yeah, I thought maybe it'd be holding, but the way Keyshawn James Newby was reacting, I wonder if they got him with the hands to the face mask or something, but great penetration.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Agreed.
Did he grasp the face mask, Dontrell?
By his reaction, that's maybe what they're calling, but we'll see.
Looked for a moment like the head of the quarterback Barnes was turned. Another look.
Yeah, I think they're going to get him with the face mask on the quarterback based on that look there.
Personal foul, face mask, number 1 on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That is a game changer here at the end of the first half. The Lobos were that close to getting off the field defensively with 2 minutes on the clock and a chance to score again with good field position.
Timeout.
And instead, we go to the 2-minute timeout. And Utah State is set up off the 15-yard personal foul infraction. Remember, the Aggies also have the ball coming out of halftime as well. 26-7, Lobos on top. There's the Lobo first-year head football coach, Jason Eck. We'll talk to him as he goes to the locker room at the end of this first half, Dontrell. He's brought some serious swagger to the head coaching position here in Albuquerque.
He absolutely has. Owns the room, owns what his mentality is and his vision, and the Lobos are playing like it right now.
Inside handoff. This is Javen Jacobs backside. Big gain across midfield down to the 47 of the Lobos. That'll be a gain of 19. C.J. McBean with the tackle.
Yeah, and again, you talk about that face mask, and it was just incidental. He's going down. Bryson Barnes is going down, and Keyshawn James Newby barely hits his hand, but again, changes the game, and now the Aggies are in business.
Play fake. Feeling backside pressure, gets it out in time. Incomplete out here on the near sideline to Brady Boyd. And my goodness, did Barnes take a shot in the back on the release.
Yeah, right there. The Lobos are getting home and getting pressure. A long foul ball right there, but lucky for the Lobos, Brady Boyd not able to get it. And man, oh man, and then he got hit on both sides. You see on the replay there, fortunate enough to get up. Glad everybody's safe.
Keyshawn James Newby can turn the corner, can't he? It's Jacobs again. Nothing there. Gabe Lopez, the fifth-year senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada, in the middle. You know, Gabe has really found a home, hasn't he, Dontrell? Had been playing on the outside. This year's staff felt like his speed, his athleticism would serve him well inside, and he's been a stalwart in there.
Absolutely, and when you get James Newby on the outside and the goo on the outside, you get an opportunity to absolutely make plays, and he's doing it.
Free play here for for Barnes. Incomplete at the goal line down here looking for Garcia. Saw the flag come out.
Offside. Number 7 on the defense. It'll be 5 yards from the previous spot. Still third down.
So Tavian Combs jumped.
Yeah, and you see right here from the replay, he's coming, he's trying to time it, and good offenses make you jump off sides, and they call it right of play, and it is. It's like, oh my goodness, let me get back off sides. Wasn't able to do it. 5 yards for the Aggies.
Barnes settles into the pocket, has the slant, throws low. It's incomplete to Boyd.
You see the Texas Tech transfer there, just unable to watch that in. Football 101. I teach my young athletes, right? You watch the ball into your hands. When things get crazy, it's 3rd and 5 or 4th and 1, and the crowd is going crazy. We do the little simple things. Watch that ball in. He did not do it there. Can't convert on 3rd down.
Barnes completed 71% of his throws last week against San Jose State. He's a little rattled today, isn't he, Dontrell?
Absolutely. You can see just the blitzing, the calling, the energy, the penetration has him a little off.
Beautiful pooch punt right there by Landon Rico. Taken in at the 1-yard line by Utah State. And the Lobos now backed up with 52 seconds left till the break. The Aggies have just one timeout. Lobos just need to get off of their goal line cleanly, and they can get to the locker room.
Yeah, again, you think about the Keyshawn James Newby sack where they get the face mask, and the Aggies do get another opportunity. The Lobos bend a little bit, but do not break. And now can they do what they need to do to, again, get out of this half without getting an opportunity either to have a safety or something, or have the Aggies have another possession.
James Lobstein is the quarterback back here. And Coach Eck wants a timeout.
Yeah. Just want to make it smart. These are crucial moments in games.
Timeout, New Mexico. It's their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Make sure you get this right.
Make sure you get the personnel right. Make sure you get the snap count right. Absolutely. There's so many things that go into a play. So many different things that can go wrong, especially down here. So have to make sure you have the right personnel and right call. Get out of this half unscathed. And the reality is you may break a big one.
That was a look into the Utah State huddle there on the far sideline. And that's Nick Howell, the former Lobo defensive coordinator that followed his head coach Bronco Mendenhall to Logan. And Coach Howell has also gone back home just like his head coach. And he said he loved his time here. His family loved his time here. But to be back in his home state means a lot.
Yeah, he talked about that, right? That Coach Mendenhall had the opportunity to do that, and who wouldn't do that? And, you know, it's something they both talked about, and they're where they kind of need to be.
Lobstein on the tush push will pick up a couple, and you wonder if they'll even use the one timeout they have available. Does not appear so. You can't stop it enough to force the Lobos to punt. New Mexico will have to snap it one more time. Lobstein will get under center again, and this will just be a kneel down right here. And that'll get the Lobos to the locker room in front 26-7. We'll have head football coach Jason Eck here in just a moment. What a first half for UNM, Don Trump.
Yeah, just the versatility on offense, the flying around on defense, stopping this really good offense of the Aggies on multiple occasions. The interception, the turnovers that they're doing, and just the will that they're playing with right now is evident. And maybe it's the turquoise jerseys, but the Lobos are feeling a positive energy right now, that's for sure.
New Mexico strikes first. New Mexico scores the first 19. Utah State gets a quick strike, big play touchdown, and the Lobos answer that. And UNM carries a 19-point lead into halftime. The Lobos had lost 7 in a row to Utah State before defeating them in Logan last year. Now they try to make it back-to-back wins over the Aggies. We have Lobo head football coach Jason Eck. Coach Eck, a spectacular first half for your team. How'd you guys pull it off?
I like how we started, but we got to keep our foot on the gas pedal and finish this game off. I think all three phases are playing well.
Wonderful beginning. Best of luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks, Rob.
Lobos on top 26-7 at the break. Head football coach Jason Eck to the locker room with his team on top by 19. We'll be joined by a nuclear engineer, Lobo linebacker Mercury Swain at halftime when we come back on Altitude Sports. Welcome back. Third quarter action upcoming. Lobos in control through 30 minutes. New Mexico 26, Utah State 7 at the break. Utah State gets the football to start the second half. What do you think Utah State head coach Bronco Mendenhall, there you see him, Dontrell, told his charges at halftime?
Yeah, I think he said stay the course. If I know Bronco, like I said, I've known him for 25 years, and it's stay the course. We're going to do our things. We're going to stay aggressive and stay the course, and things that will happen or are supposed to happen will happen. They won't get out of character, that's for sure.
And it's impossible to understate the influence that he had on you as a player, right, Dontrell? The first thing you told me about him when he arrived here in Albuquerque last year was you would run through a wall for him.
He was just that guy. He was. All those years ago as a young 18-year-old young man here and meeting him on campus, and you just saw the intensity with which he operated and the things that he expected out of his players, and that's no different now.
Grant Glasgow showing off that electric right leg of his, and another touchback. And you can see as he's coming to the sideline that he's not 100% Dontrell, but he has absolutely been a gamer. What a leg he's got.
Yeah, again, you don't feel you're 100%, but you feel like you can push the ball. And another thing, Robert, go back to that last possession, after the Keyshawn James Newby face mask where they don't give up any points and they get the ball. That was huge, because if the Utah State Aggies get a touchdown there and then they get the ball in the first half of the first play of the second half, it's a different ball game.
Barnes is going to roll right and throw on his first snap of the second half. It's caught. That's Braden Pagan over there on the far sideline, the UCLA transfer. And he's knocked out of bounds after a gain of 5. Pagan was a teammate at UCLA of a former Bruin now here at the University of New Mexico, Clint Stevens. Inside give. Miles Davis hit right at the point of attack. Gain of 1. 3rd down and 4.
I mean, Robert, if you think about Hagan on that first catch, he's averaging 78 yards a game, and he only has 13 yards up until this point.
Career best 118 on the ground against McNeese earlier this season. That was back late September. 3rd and 4 for the Aggies. 4 wide receivers in the pattern. It's caught near sideline. 1st down and more. Out of bounds. Brady Boyd. And a chain mover for Utah State. That's a big conversion for them early here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, just an easy kind of pitch and catch. They catch the Lobos kind of sitting in that 2 zone. Cover 2 look right there, and they get them with a quick out and pick up the 1st down.
Their offensive coordinator, Kevin McGivern, calls him kind of the possession guy. This is Pagan trying to turn the corner with a flag out. And he is nailed. How about the speed coming up there from the defensive backfield on the part of Drew Speech, diving at his ankles.
Yeah.
Illegal shift. Number 7 and number 16. It'll be 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 1st down.
So back them up.
And you
1st and 15.
And you see play recognition for me, right? You see at the top of the screen right here, the movement. You cannot have 2 people in motion. Highlighted very well right there. You see the outside receiver moving and then the back moving. 2 people in motion is a penalty.
And of course, the back in that case was the quarterback, Barnes, on the direct snap. Another opportunity for Miles Davis, and they just can't get the run game going right now. Brian Booker bottles it up inside. And Big Book, the Texas Southern transfer out of Mansfield, Texas.
Yeah, the Lobos just have the answer right now. The guys up front, is it Carhu, is it Gabe, is it, Kayshawn James Newby, whoever it is, they are pushing the envelope. They are bringing the attack to the Utah State offensive line. And this is the part that they felt has been the weakest part of this team is the offensive line.
2nd and 13 at their own 40. The Lobos run a little game up front. Flag is out. Barnes rolling. Barnes firing. Wide open man. Boyd catches 35 down to the 31, but probably coming back for holding on Utah State.
Yeah, for sure. Only 4 people coming right there. You're talking to Coach Spence Nowinski, the defense coordinator for the Lobos. He talked about getting home with just 4 people, and they were able to get there and get the holding.
Holding. Number 56 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
After being out of action, Jake Eichhorn returns, and Eichhorn there on the edge. You can see exposed a little bit on that particular play by Xavier Slayton Dontrell.
Yeah, he was absolutely exploding. You see 56 right there getting pummeled in the backfield. And then again, for me, if I'm an O-line, I'm going to hold right there because my quarterback's going to get hit.
So 2nd and 23. Motion of man across the formation. Boyd and throw. Set up the screen. Booker from the backside brings down Davis from behind. Great chase by the big man at 6'3", 325. What would he run at the combine, Dontrell?
Oh, he's going to run. He'll run under 5, and that's flying for a big man. They absolutely can see him move, right? You see the screen set up right there, and there's safety in numbers, and it's the effort by the big man Book to run him from behind. Set up the 3rd and long.
Book pumping the arms, chasing down the speedy Davis. 3rd and 20. You're going to hand it off. Davis has a ton of room. Davis puts a foot in the ground, and he's nailed by McBean near midfield. And a 4th down and 4 upcoming.
Wow, that big play right there makes it an interesting call for Coach Mendenhall and company, whether they decide to go for it or not. But a big, huge gain. You see him run the zone here right on the replay, and it just opens up as the Lobos were sitting maybe like in a prevent defense, and they give their ball to their most electric player, and then they almost pick up the 1st down.
Down by 19, 11-20 in the 3rd. You think maybe midfield you go here, but Coach Mendenhall is going to pin the Lobos deep if he can. The punter is Landon Rico. McKinney will let it go, and it bounces into the end zone. touchback for the Lobos.
Great decision right there. I remember standing back there in those punt returns, and you have to get off the field.
Lobos on top 26-7. Their first offensive possession of the second half coming up. We're back in Albuquerque. You can see the use of sideline technology. A rules change last year allowed it. How about the iPad Pros and the iPad Airs on the sidelines in the Mountain West, Dontrell? What a game changer, huh?
It is an absolute game changer for me, just watching the ability to kind of process the information readily available when you come off the line, come off the field, and you can make your changes and your adjustments based off what's on that technology.
Both home and away teams access to the iPad Pros and the iPad Airs on the sidelines. New Mexico football for the first time in the second half. There's the captain and quarterback, Jack Lane, in the shotgun. Motion McKinney. Fake it to Bankston. Lane wants to throw. Near sideline. Incomplete. Looking for Keegan Johnson. Lane was 13 of 17 for $158 and a touchdown in the first half. The long touchdown to Cade Keith, the tight end.
Yeah, and what he did well in that first half was get his feet set. Right there you see on the incompletion, he threw off his back foot a little bit. Wasn't able to put it out there.
Lane's out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. Grew up a Ducks fan. Went to a lot of games in Eugene. Going to hand it off to McKinney here, and there's a ton of room. McKinney is loose. McKinney to the 40. McKinney to the 43. Pick up a 23. And Noah Avager, the former Lobo, probably saved a touchdown.
Yeah, saved the touchdown right there. You see McKinney again, the big guys up front. Just hat on a hat. You see right here in the replay, nothing fancy. Just, I'm going to block your guy. Man-y-man, mano-y-mano. Who's going to do more? And the Lobos are able to push the field, the pile there, push the line of scrimmage. And McKinney hits a big gang up the middle.
McKinney had his longest reception of the season last week. 39-yarder against Nevada. McKinney with another chance, and McKinney's bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Going to gain one. Second and 9 upcoming.
You know what's interesting too, Robert, when you think about that, the backfield, right? DJ McKinney, Damon Bankston, Scott Trey Humphrey, and how you're going to get, enough carries to each player. And it seems like McKinney's, been the cause as Bankston is in now, but I haven't seen much of Scott Trey, and you feel like they all three have an opportunity to be a game breaker.
Two tight ends and two wide receivers in motion. Bankston out of the backfield and go empty with Lane. They bring five-man pressure. Jack fires it over the middle. It's caught by Keith at midfield. Cade Keith's 7th reception. Brought down by Brevin Hamblin. And it's going to be 3rd and a long 3.
Yeah, great hands right there by Keith. He's on fire today. He is the guy with the 6-7 receptions right now and playing really well. Great hands to set up a more manageable 3rd down.
The TCU transfer, Cade Keith. Just a redshirt freshman. It's a breakout year for Keith. The quarterback is Lobstein now. The tailback to his left is Humphrey. Motion the freshman Zyle Smith, and Humphrey is going to lead Lobstein to a first down and more. James slips the tackle to the 40-yard line. Gain of 10, but a flag is out back in the Shield logo at midfield.
Yeah, it's going to be holding. It typically happens when they're trying to get to the outside. You get a look at it, they ride him, and then you just see the tackle holding. When the quarterback tries to get to the outside, it's tough to
holding.
do.
Number 85 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
That's the big tight end, the bruiser Simon Mappa, who had the touchdown catch against UCLA. That was back on September 12th. So it negates the first down pickup, and it brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's called a reach block. You see him trying to get to the edge, and you know that the play's designed to go outside, but you see him just holding on. And once you feel the offensive guy get to your outside, Robert, you just have to let him go, or they're going to call it 10 out of 10.
So 3rd and 13 from the 40. Lane in the gun. Motion Humphrey out of the backfield. And now Scott Trey will motion back in. Lane steps to the line of scrimmage. They have 3 seconds to get this play snapped. And they do. Going to hand it off to Scott Trey. And there's nothing there. Nailed at the line of scrimmage. The Lobos will be content to punt this one away.
Yeah, they tried a little motion, right? Get Scottrey out. Maybe see whether it's man or zone, kind of trick them a little bit, but they were just kind of playing it safe, in my opinion, in that situation, and not able to break one.
Daniel Hughes has been brilliant in the pin punt game. Coach Eck told us earlier this week they really haven't called the pin punt the whole year. He'd only punted a total of 15 times coming in. Another opportunity here. A beauty from Hughes. Bounces forward from the 7 and into the end zone for the touchback. So a gross of 60 yards, but a net of 40. When we come back, Aggie football on the other side. Lobos up by 19 at home. We're back. There's former Lobo head football coach Bronco Mendenhall, current head man at Utah State University. Talked emotionally last night when we spoke to him about the win in Logan for UNM over Utah State. Called it one of the greatest wins in his time as a head coach. A keeper there for the quarterback. Nothing at all for Bryson Barnes. Dimitri Johnson with the hit. You know, it was Dimitri, by the way, talking about that win in Logan for the Lobos last year. Dimitri Johnson had the interception late fourth that sealed New Mexico's comeback victory. 16-point comeback win, the largest road win in comeback fashion. Great seam route there to Braden Pagan to midfield down to the 48. That's a terrific pitch and catch at 31 yards.
Yeah, it really was. There's just a seam, and he went up top and grabbed it. Great coverage right there, too. Just better offense. Sometimes you have great defense and better offense.
Yeah, the largest second half road comeback win in Lobo football history. 16 points when Mendenhall led the Lobos over the Aggies in Logan last year. Direct snap here to Miles Davis. Davis barrels through the first hit. Brought down by Wheezy Kaiwan McCray after a gain of 8. And Utah State and their offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern starting to dial it up a little bit, Dontrell.
Yeah, they are. They're getting a couple people, different people involved. They tried the direct snap to Miles there and rolling a little bit after the pass over the top to Pagan.
And how about this backfield setup? The wing tee out of the pistol, if you will, and hand it off to Davis. And there's Tavian Combs with some help from Dimitri Johnson to bring him down, but he's got a first down pickup of 4.
And it's interesting, they're averaging, almost 180 yards rushing when they're playing well over the last 5 games. And it's interesting to see that that's, aside from the big run, hasn't been really working.
Twins to the left, single wide to the right. And a couple tight ends to the right of the formation. Motion Jacobs and fake the jet sweep. And Barnes sacked again. Oh, Kiki Olorunfumi lost back to the 41.
Yeah, you see Olorunfumi right there just not giving up, and that's how you get a sack. Sometimes just not beating your guy one-on-one, as you see in the replay here. He's waiting, and then he says, listen, I'm going to get off my block. I'm going to keep working. And he's able to get up and get the sack.
2nd and 12. Shotgun setup. Hand off to Jacobs. And he's free. Terrific tackle by Tavian Combs. Nails him at the 34-yard line. Gain of 7. 3rd and medium coming up. Call it 3rd and 5.
It was so interesting about college football, right? Tavian Combs and Jacobs, they've eaten at the same place before. They've been to the same, places and malls and restaurants here. And now they're tackling each other in the 3rd quarter of a game. That's the beauty of college football, and that's the landscape that it is.
And they were speaking via text throughout the entire week. Tavian told me he was talking with his DB teammates and Jacobs as well. It's a false start.
You're not just going to stop being nice.
False start. 57 on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
That's the tackle, Trey Anderson, the Pitt transfer.
And you see just the rocking back right there by the tackle. And a great job by Keyshawn James Newby pointing that out and going.
How many times have we seen the tackle lined up across from Keyshawn James Newby get edgy this season, Dontrell?
We've seen it a lot from start to finish, right? Just trying to get back in your heels to being prepared to block him.
3rd and 10, give to Jacobs. Nothing there. Jackson Eck with some help from Gabe Lopez. Penetration from Keyshawn James Newby, and the Lobos eat him up.
And that's exactly what good defenses do. Safety in numbers. You got an edge blocker, as you can see right here, getting off the edge, and then you have your linebackers filling in inside, and Eck hasn't been blocked all day. We know what he does, 11.7 tackles per game, or 10.7, my apologies, and you see him right there on another good tackle on 3rd down.
So Landon Rico in punt formation. McKinney will stand on the 10, and you're taught if it's over your head, let it go, right?
Period. He's done a great job. He did that the last time. You stand on the 10, do not move your heels. If it goes over your head, you do not move.
Rico strikes it 5 yards deep into the end zone for the touchback, and the Lobos will take it over 1st and 10 at the 20 with just over 3 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. New Mexico on top of Utah State by 19 on Altitude Sports. It is the first time that the Lobos are in turquoise since the 70s. I call that guy the Hungry Wolf, that Lobo logo there on the turquoise shirt. He's obviously salivating, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's fantastic. He's circa 1960s, Dontrell. Give me all of that.
Yeah, just the color coordination with that and the Lobo, and the salivating nature is exactly what the Lobos have been doing today.
Play fake, Lane throwing. They pick up the blitz. There's Dorian Thomas, his first grab out to the 37. It was only a matter of time before they got him involved.
Yeah, you can double team him, triple team him, but they're going to keep the course. They're going to keep trying to find him. And like you said, just a matter of time. Just a corner route there. Easy pitch and catch for the Lobos and Jack Lane.
Pickup of 17. Lobos with the football, late 3rd, in control, and moving the ball once again. Lane now with 180 yards passing, 104 of those to his tight end, Cade Keith. Keith is the lead blocker here for DJ McKinney, but Utah State has numbers. It'll be a gain of 2.
Yeah, defensive numbers, penetration, all of those things happen. But again, the Lobos have done what they've wanted out of this. They've got just a little bit, just enough to keep him honest and thrown over the top.
Jack Lane's completion percentage of over 66% coming in. Fully 4 percentage points better than your former teammate Cole McCamey's school record back in 05 of 62. Lane from the pistol. Play fake to McKinney. Lane steps up. Boy, he feels the rush beautifully, doesn't he? He turns a loss into a pickup of a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and manageable after he's brought down by Matyra Brown.
Yeah, again, you see that. You feel the rush. What they always talk about is you see the middle guys, you see your eyes downfield, and then you feel the rush, and you step up. Again, doesn't take the sack there.
Looked like he might be down right there, able to escape. Eludes another tackle. Saves a loss. 3rd and a long 6. Just over a minute left, 3rd quarter. That's the tight end, Thomas. Motioning to the slot. Right. Rolling right. Lane finds Bankston in the flat. And there's nothing really there this time.
Yeah, on the
Bryson
play
Taylor, the former Lobo, gets him.
Yeah, Taylor on the former Lobo pulls right there. But you see on the play before that set up this play, yes, great pocket presence, awareness to be able to step up in front to give them an opportunity on the 3rd down. Interesting play call on the 3rd down, but now the Lobos are going to 2 and 8 on 3rd down conversions on 3rd down in this game. Not a very good percentage for either team on 3rd down today.
Kahanu Davis back to receive the punt. Standing at his own 15 for Utah State. Daniel Hughes would love to pin him deep. Look at this high spiraling beauty that'll be fair caught 13 or 14 yard line, and that's where Utah State will start this possession. Hughes showing off the variety that he has, right? The 27-year-old who's the 5th oldest player in all of FBS this season, a Lobo punter out of Australia. And he's shown you the Aussie rules boot, and that was a more traditional pocket punt.
Yeah, and you got to be able to have both, right? The skill set of being able to execute either one when you need it. That's a weapon.
There he is, number 96 on the Lobo sideline. He's a pretty good follow as well on the social media front. He has created quite the brand, number 96. Had his own construction company back home that he sold so he could play U.S. football. Barnes in trouble, finds Davis. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. The Lobo corners and safeties have been terrific. That was Caleb Coleman, Johnny on the spot. We're through 3 quarters in Albuquerque. Lobos in control, up 26-7 over Utah State on Altitude Sports. Mountain West Football is presented by Intermountain Health, helping people live the healthiest lives possible. Lobo head football coach Jason Eck and his team on top by 19. Utah State with a 2nd and 10 as we start 4th quarter action, and a flag out. Brett Carhue with the tackle. I think this play's coming back.
Yeah, you know that hanky in the middle of the 2 hashes is typically holding.
Holding. Number 55 on the offense. It'll be half the distance from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
7th penalty on Utah State. Nearly 50 yards worth of penalties. The Lobos have been whistled 5 times for 55 yards. Twins to the left. Twins to the right. Barnes in the gun. Motion a man and fake it to him. Throw it backside to Jacobs. Look at Jackson Eck. That's about a 25-yard run from the left hash to the far numbers to make the tackle for no gain.
And here's what's special about the coach's son, Robert. They try to disguise it. You have a read up the middle, then you have a fake screen to the field play, and then you throw a screen to the boundary. So he had to kind of wait, dissect, and then run 20 yards to make the tackle. Absolutely spectacular. What can the Aggies dial up here on 3rd down?
They give him 1, 3rd and 14. Barnes in the gun. Lobos rush 4. Barnes with plenty of time. Throws the deep out, and it's caught. Very close to the line to gain. He's got it. Brady Boyd makes the grab for 15 yards and a Utah State 1st down. Boyd on his 3rd stop. Began his career at Minnesota, then to Texas Tech, and now to Logan, Utah, and Utah State.
And then you see the journeyman right there, like you said, the last 2 stops, but just staying alive right there, and comes back to the ball from Barnes and picks up a huge 1st down for the Aggies.
You saw Azariah Bear-Lavelles in coverage there for UNM, and maybe gave ground just a little bit too far, Dontrell.
Absolutely. Got to keep yourself at the sticks.
Play fake, throwing the slant. No dice. How about the play right there from Drew Speech? That's his 5th PBU.
Yeah, just right where you're supposed to be in recognition of coverage. You find where you need to be, and then you don't cheat. Don't put your left hand. If you see him right here, right, does a little shimmy route, and Drew Speech says, no suit for you, PBU.
2nd and 10. Aggie 24. Inside give. Jacobs, Jackson Eck in the hole. Not much there.
And what's so crazy is if you see a play and it's going to open up, and then you think you have an opportunity, and it's open because you blocked everybody, and then Jackson Eck out of nowhere covers up that hole for the Lobos.
It's just his 5th tackle, Dontrell, averaging almost 11 per game. But he's impacted the game so much today, and the tackles are limited because of the way Utah State plays offense.
Correct.
This might be a free play for Utah State as James Newby broke the line of scrimmage unabated to the quarterback, and they're going to blow it dead.
Typically, when they blow it dead, I wonder if it's a procedure and false start, because if it's offsides, they let them typically go, but we'll see.
Offsides. number 1 on the defense, unabated to the quarterback. It'll be 5 yards, still third down.
Not going to give him a free shot on the quarterback.
And that's why they stop it. You see him here at the bottom of your screen, unabated to the quarterback, and got to protect him and call it dead so he doesn't smack him in the efforts to have a free play.
Turns it into a 3rd and 2. They're going to throw the seam route, and it's caught. First down. Pursuit from John Johnson. Runs Pagan out of bounds on the far sideline. But a massive play for Utah State here, just inside 13 minutes to go in the contest. And Aggie is down on the far sideline.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding that right knee. We'll take a look at it. You see the quarterback dropping back right here and gets just planted right there. Lands hard, but stands in there and throws a strike, or kind of a strike. Goes behind him. A great catch by Pagan.
Beautiful one-handed grab. What's interesting, Dontrell, isn't it, how down in distance off of an offside penalty changes everything completely. And in a 3rd and short look where you expect maybe a handoff to try to pick up a first down, they go play action instead, and they hit a huge play for 56 yards.
Yeah, what you're talking about is you go from 3rd and 7, and you get the unabated by Keyshawn James Newby. Now it's 3rd and 2. Now you ride the read zone running back, and you have to step up and respect that, and now you throw behind you for the huge gain. And there you see Garcia, walking up. He was blocking at the end there and got his right leg caught up underneath, and hopefully he's okay.
Their offensive coordinator, Kevin McGivern, told me that he recruited Garcia out of high school when McGivern was in this league at San Jose State. Has really liked him for a long time. Converted quarterback to wide receiver, much like Nick Nash, who preceded him, doing the same thing to great effect at San Jose State. From the pistol they throw, and it's the post, and it's caught for a touchdown. It's Braden Pagan from 13 yards.
Yeah, the short post there, the quick in. And again, if there's no blitz or you're not on inside coverage down in the red zone, it's going to be a quick strike. And they showed Pagan the play before playing well thus far. And then he gets the touchdown there. And he is their main guy. That's the guy they want to go to. Again, you see him ride him right there and just throw it right behind in the window. Underneath the corner on top of the linebacker. Touchdown Aggies.
Pagan came in top 5 in receiving touchdowns in the conference. That's his 5th of the year. PAT on the way from Tanner Rinker, and it's good. Aggies draw within 26-14. The Lobo lead has been trimmed to a dozen. Utah State strikes, quick strike. 2-minute drive, 2 minute 19 seconds to be exact. Cover 87 yards in 7 plays. Barnes to Pagan, 13-yard touchdown, and Coach Mendenhall and his Aggies have turned it into a 2-possession game. The Lobo lead is 12. And Dontrell, Utah State might have converted the 3rd and 7, but the penalties for UNM have become an issue. Remember back at the start of the year when the Lobos were one of the least penalized teams in the nation? Over the first 3 games, they were averaging just over 2 penalties per game for just shy of 16 penalty yards per game. Over the last 4 coming into today, nearly 8 penalties a game for more than 60 yards of penalty yardage, and they're right at 6 penalties for 60 yards today. And again, we talk about the timing of them, as this kickoff will be a touchback, but that one turning the 3rd and 7 to a 3rd and 2 completely changed the complexion of that drive.
It really did. And again, it's not necessarily the volume, it's when they happen. And the way it changed the complexion of that drive is simply this. Now instead of 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 2. And now you have to respect the zone read. When he rides the running back, you have to step in there because he only needs 2 yards. At 3rd and 7, you don't really have to honor it like you would. But now when you do the penalty, now it's 3rd and 2. Everyone's up on the run read, and they throw a slant behind you for a big gain.
What does Luke Schleissner dial up, the Lobo offensive coordinator who came from Idaho with Coach Eck to Albuquerque on this possession? They're going to go play fake and throw it to Thomas in the flat, and a terrific tackle coming up from the edge on the Lobo tight end Dorian Thomas there. An outstanding hit by Ike Larson.
Yeah, they tried to get it out in the flats, and just fortunate enough that he was not planted right there, and it was a good tackle. But if you're, I've seen those before happen, but again, get up and you live to fight another day.
Larson is a former first-team All-Mountain West selection. One of his claims to fame, program record 5 blocked kicks at Utah State. 2nd and 9. Lobstein at quarterback. He's going to run. Look at him. Tuck it high and tight and pick up a first down. Or is he just shy?
Maybe they're going to call it 3rd down, but he was hit at 4 or 5 yards and kept trucking and got close, and they're not happy with that spot.
Lobos look to go tempo on 3rd and short. It's Lobstein again. Handoff is clean. The Aggies say they've stopped him, and they have.
And that's what's unfortunate about the spot. You hear the crowd booing. They're wondering, hey, if it's a first down, here's the thing, you get up and run the play on the line of scrimmage, but what if they're going to maybe review the spot? So here we are. 4th and inches on the 35-yard line.
All the momentum has swung to the sideline of the Utah State Aggies now as the Lobos go 3 and out. A different spot on the field. Perhaps you go for it here.
Yeah, if you're maybe 45, maybe 10 yards up, you go for it.
Daniel Hughes, it's the fake. Oh, beautiful move by Day-Day Buchanan. Across the 45 to the 47, maybe the 48. Are you kidding me?
And here's what's funny about Day-Day Buchanan in that one. He was tackled. If that guy makes an open field tackle, they are stopped, and it's a completely different game. When we look back to whether the Lobos won that or not, you'll see, look, they line up in the formation, they toss it on the reverse, and that's a tackle. He's tackled right there. He's 5 yards short to the first down. He undresses a guy in the open field, which makes him miss and picks up a huge first down for the Lobos. What a call. What a call.
4 times in his Lobo football career, Bryson Taylor had 8 tackles in a game. He's now a Utah State Aggie. Buchanan forced a missed tackle from Taylor there on the fake punt. Damon Bankston up the right hash for 9. 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Slice and company and Coach Eck, whoever, typically the offensive coordinator calls it and the head coach decides whether they can run it or not, or, gives it okay. But the execution, it's not the guts to call it. It's not just the guts to call it, Robert. You have to now execute in that moment. And the reality is Utah State executed. The running back just made him miss. Buchanan did, and picked up the first down.
2nd and 1 at the Utah State 43. Handed off to Bankston, escapes the first tackle. Now it becomes a strength game, and the Lobos move the pile for the first down, gain of 2, and move the chains.
That scrum to me, push the field or push the pile is just so funny to me, because if you stop them short, they stop. If you push them, hopefully we'll see who's down on the field there.
An Aggie down near midfield. Looks like it might be John Miller.
Well, they can ill afford to lose.
One of the outside backers in the 3-4 scheme that Coach Mendenhall and his defensive coordinator, Nick Howell, are employing this year at Utah State. Oregon State transfer, John Miller. Already with 3 double-digit tackle games in this season for Utah State. They can't afford to lose him.
It's 16, Robert, at Air Force this year.
A career best. Came in with 5.5 sacks, tied for 2nd in the conference.
It's a pivotal drive for the Lobos. You've played well. You've dominated the game, it seems. And, 2 possessions now, you wonder, hey, if they don't get that 4th down or that, the trick play. But this is a huge possession to get points on the board to make it a 3-possession game.
The tailback is Bankston for Lane. Multiple tight ends. And heavy, you've got the big fella, Silliman in the slot, handed off to Bank. He's loose. Bank is going to find the paint. 42-yard Lobo touchdown.
Unbelievable. Again, I was talking about that. You keep your feet moving, and if they're going to allow the momentum and the pushing to still come, you just keep your feet going. Demond Bankston comes out of the backside, hits the X button, as the kids say, to the end zone. I don't really play the games, but they do it. You see it right there. Coming up the middle, he's right there. Makes a couple of people miss. He keeps his feet moving. It's not stopped. They stop. Makes another cutback, and then off to the races.
It looked like Brevin Hamblin, the boundary safety for Utah State, had him fully wrapped up. And you're right, Dontrell. Bankston never quit on the play. Officially 41 yards. Lobos on top, 33-14 after the PAT. That is an absolute game changer on a play that looked like it was bottled up. The Lobos. Demond Bankston with the house call. 4th rushing touchdown of the year for Bank. The Bank is open in the birdcage. That man is not shy. Jason Eck, the Lobos' first-year head coach. First season coaching an FBS team as the head man. On a 4th and 1 at his own 35. Calls the fake punt, Dontrell, and for all the world, it looked like it was going to be a loss of 8. And it ended up being a touchdown drive. Incredible.
That is the play of the game, right? The execution of that 4th and 1 call at a time in the game, Robert, where if they get stopped right there, this game is wide open, only a 2-possession game, and they execute, and then Bankston out the backside to capitalize on the trust that Coach Eck has in his players.
The Lobos eat up 4.5 minutes, go 75 yards. Bank cashes in from 41. He's been money all year. And he's done it in so many different ways, Dontrell. That's his 4th rushing touchdown. He had the 43-yard receiving touchdown against UCLA. He's got the 104-yard house call and a kickoff. He's do everything.
He really is their guy.
Barnes throwing. Barnes deep ball. And incomplete. Nearly picked up by John Johnson. JJ's so mad at himself for not hanging on.
Yeah, you want the interception right there. You get hungry, you get greedy, right? That's a jump ball. You want to go up the top and bring that down. He's like, oh, I should have had it, and he's like right there. Gotta catch that in. I think the funny thing is that's why the receivers used to say, well, that's why you play DB, because you can't catch. I remember all the receivers used to make fun of DBs, but a great PBU right there nonetheless.
Barnes steps up, fires into double coverage that time. The Lobos had him bracketed. Jackson Eck and Kaiwan McCray, nothing doing there.
It's exactly what it was. Great bracket. If you're not blitzing, you're sitting 7B, and you can trust that your 4 people can get home. You can sit underneath. And if that's not a high ball, it's an interception for Jackson Eck. The ball was overthrown.
Aggies 4 of 9 on 3rd down so far today. Big one, 3rd and 10, their own 25. Barnes steps up. Barnes feeling it from Agu. Ball's out as Agu brings him down. What a story Darren Agu is.
That's just a coverage sack right there.
Was a fumble by the offense and recovered by the offense. It's 4th down.
Beautiful punch out by Agu. He might not get credit for a sack there. The transfer from Vandy. There he is. What a specimen that guy is. You want him first off the bus, Dontrell. 6'6", 245.
First off the bus. If you don't know what that means when you're getting off the bus to play another team, you want the other team to see him.
Booming punt there from Rico. Bounces into the Mountain West logo and settles at the New Mexico 25. First and 10 UNM on top 33-14 with 7:22 to go in the contest.
Now you're in your put them away zone. You run the football, pick up first downs, you think in touchdown, you hold on to the football. Again, a lot of football still to be played in this game, but if you're the Lobos, you like where you are, what kind of execution can you have again, winning teams, right? They have aspirations of going bowling or being really good or, vying for Mountain West Conference championships. This is how you finish games. If you're the Lobos, you have to find those opportunities and put teams away. 9
years since the Lobos have gone bowling. This would put them 1 win away from a bowl trip in 2025. Inside give on first down. Will net 1 for Bankston. Counting down to 7 minutes left. The big back Humphrey comes in with Lobstein. We've seen a lot of Humphrey leading Lobstein through the hole when James is taken off running. At some point, James is going to pull that ball and stand up and throw it downfield.
Yep.
Don't know if this is that moment. Lobstein takes over at quarterback. Jet sweep motion, and Lobstein's going to keep it on the quarterback power. Look at the strength for Lobstein. Lobstein with a first down and more. He lays a hit on the defender after picking up the first down. Says hello to Noah Avenger on the sideline. Move the chains.
Yeah, you see it right there. He just kept his feet moving. And Ziel Smith just got a kind of a talking to by the coach. I thought he should get up in front and go block it. Maybe it's a bigger play, but I see the coach grab him and talk to him. I know that's what he's saying. Get up in front. Give your quarterback an opportunity to get even more yards. But a great run, great first down pickup.
First and 10 at their own 40. Lobos can run that play clock now. Lane back at quarterback. Jack takes the snap. Hands it off to Bankston. Bankston tackled by Iniguez after a gain of 2.
It's just so interesting, the storylines and the things that kind of transpire in these games, all the energy, all the emotions of, surrounding Coach Mendenhall coming back and the players on both teams. But when you get between the lines, it just becomes football at that point. You just play football, and the team that executes the best wins the game. And the Lobos have done that thus far.
5.5 to go. Trips to the right. Mappa, the tight end, hand on the ground to the right. Lobstein on the quarterback keeper. Lobstein bottled up after a gain of 2. Put the ball at the 44, where it'll be 3rd and 6. The Lobos will stick with Lobstein. 6'3", all of 212. Ran it in for a 2-point conversion against Fresno State last year. First time in the paint as a Lobo on a 2-point. Threw a touchdown pass to Keegan Johnson of 4 yards against Boise earlier this season. The first of his Lobo career. 3rd and 6. Lobstein tucks it away. Quarterback draw. First down. Tripped up at the 45. Gain of 10. Larson on the hit. Lobstein running the show right now.
Yeah, and Larson saved the touchdown right there. You see it right there. He fakes the pass out, and it's just a quarterback draw all the way. And a great tackle in the open field.
If McKinney can get to Larson and get the block, Lobstein hits his head on the goalpost.
Absolutely. He's still running right now. And again, that's the game, right? And the reality is you got to, when they look at film tomorrow, they'll look at it and they'll work on those plays because those are ones, what if that's a crucial point in the game where you need a touchdown and you're down? You got to execute whether you're up by 10 or you're down by 10.
The Lobos will have to take time out here. Coach Eck not happy.
New Mexico.
Personnel situation.
It's the first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Was not locked down. 3:40 to go. Lobos 33, Utah State 14, a game that New Mexico has controlled throughout. And you think about it, Dontrell, it felt like that control was slipping away. And at their own 35 on a 4th and 1, they run the fake punt. It appears that Buchanan in the open field is going to be tackled for a loss, and Utah State would have been set up just outside the red zone with a chance to go in and make it a 1-score game. And How about that young man? One of the heroes today with a career day for Cade Keith, his first 100-yard receiving day of his career. The TCU transfer, 7 catches for 104 and a touchdown.
And along a 40, he's just been open and often and unstoppable today.
Pistol setup, jet motion, hand off to McKinney. Nice feet by DJ. Gain of 4, tackled by Matyra Brown.
Twinkle toes. I just love the great feet right there. It doesn't look like much, right? 3 or 4 yard gain, but at the point of contact, you just see him moving his feet and able to change directions.
Love the way that Luke Schleissner has distributed the carries today in the Lobo backfield. 10 for Bank for 75 and a score. 7 for Lopestein, 49. 9 for McKinney, 44 yards and a score. This is McKinney. Lobos move the pile. Just shy of the line to gain. Pick up a 5. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, you talk about the distribution, right? McKinney back in, Damon Bankston, McKinney, Lopestein doing his thing. Scott Trey Humphrey, right? 5. There's so many weapons that they absolutely have to be able to use at their disposal. It's almost hard to get them all the ball.
2.5 minutes left. And a chance to put this game away on the ground with the football in your possession. The Lobos over 200 rushing yards now. McKinney, first down and more. The Lobo offensive line is starting to assert itself, and those big fellas have done a phenomenal job today, Dontrell. And there had been a further shuffle up front. A Lobo is down as we go to the 2-minute timeout. We'll tell you who it is when we come back. New Mexico in front 33-14 on Altitude Sports. The turquoise is out today in Albuquerque. First time in the turquoise jerseys since the 70s. I see a Keyshawn James Newby jersey there in the background. Those young men are having a blast today, and most Lobo fans are. It's been all UNM from the outset. They took a 19-0 lead and lead by that same number right now. Bankston tries to bounce this one outside a little bit, and he'll be bottled up at the line of scrimmage. We're inside the 2-minute mark here at University Stadium, and the Lobos have been in control from the outset, Dontrell.
They really have. If you go back to the keys to victory, and they were talking about running strong and playing long, controlling the clock. Efficient runs on first and second down, they've done that. Win on money downs, they didn't really, do really well on third downs, which is the money down for them, but they haven't had many of them, hadn't had opportunity or had ones that affected the game. So you like where they stand, you like how they've inserted their energy on this football game.
2nd and 9, handoff to Bankston. Bankston's going to get 3. 3rd down coming up. I said the number 1 in the stands was a Keyshawn James Newby jersey, but in college, when you have so many duplicate numbers, how do you know if he's a fan of Key or if he's a fan of Damon Bankston, number 1 on the offense?
Right, that's how it is. You have multiple players wearing both jerseys, so.
Lobos will have to snap it one more time. By the way, we told you who was going to be coming off the field after being injured before the 2-minute timeout. It was the freshman man up front. That's Jamar Tassi, who's been used in that H-back, fullback position, who today was playing guard. Tassi has been terrific as a true freshman out of Seattle, Washington. He was able to walk off the field under his own power. Hand off to Banks in here. Damon will try the left side on 3rd and 6. Flag comes out. That will stop the clock. New Mexico will do something it has not done since 1962 today, Dontrell.
Go 4-0 at home.
4 straight wins at home to start a season.
Illegal formation on the offense. It'll be 5 yards from the previous spot. It's 3rd down. Utah State is elected to have the game clock start on the snap.
Looks like Coach Eck knew this was coming and he wanted to get a timeout there and he couldn't.
Yeah, sprinting down to the offense, to the referee to potentially get a timeout, and they've kind of tried to do away with that last second thing, but you see.
So with 21 seconds remaining in the game, the Lobos will have a 3rd and 11. Utah State has not used any of its 3 timeouts that are available, and you wouldn't expect that they would use one after this play. Lane in the pistol. Handed off to Bankston. Give him about 4 or 5. Clock is stopped with 14 seconds. The Lobos will improve to 5-3. They'll go to 2-2 in conference play. The Aggies will drop to 4-4 and 2-2 in league.
Because number 72's helmet came off with a running clock, Utah State is elected to have a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 4 seconds, and it'll start on my wind.
And that's Coach Mendenhall realizing the situation and getting us closer to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, just a dominating performance by the Lobos.
And the final 4 seconds will come off the clock, and the Lobos will have a 33-14 win over Utah State here at University Stadium. A game that New Mexico led 19-0 early. They end up winning by that exact count. And Jason Eck, what can you say about the Lobo head coach, Dontrell? Takes down the former Lobo head man, Bronco Mendenhall. You can see Coach Mendenhall reuniting with some former Lobos, including Luke Drizwicki, his former place kicker.
Well, that was the storyline coming in, whether, he didn't want it to be about that and the other, Eck didn't want it to be about that, but the superlatives are plentiful in talking about Coach Eck. His leadership, his swag, his control of what he's trying to do, his unwavering confidence in himself and his process, and also in his players. It's just a testament to what they've done.
We have Lobo tight end Cade Keith. Cade, Robert Portnoy with you. Congratulations on a monster win over Utah State and a career game for you personally, your first 100-yard receiving game as a college football player. What's the feeling like for you down there?
Hey, Rob. First and foremost, I want to give all the glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And Coach Eck established early this week that this game meant a little more, not just for the kids who were here last year and stayed for this year, but for the entire team. Albuquerque's a special place, and since I've been here in January, I've fallen in love with the people at the place. Yeah, it's just an amazing win all around. I'm proud of our team.
And what's awesome about that, Kate, congratulations, Dontrell Moore here. Typically, they're going to double team and triple team Dorian, right? And they're going to keep their eyes on him. What were you able to do? What was the game plan, knowing that they would probably do that? And what did you see, and what were you guys able to do with that?
Yeah, I just want to thank our coaching staff for trusting me and believing in me to go and make plays. Yeah, and DT's done a great job the entire first half of the season. He's such a stud. And when we're both on the field together, we know how dynamic we can be working together. We trust one another to go and make plays when it counts. And we've done a good job relying on one another, working off one another, helping one another get open. So, yeah, DT's a phenomenal athlete. He's had a great start to the year, and I just enjoy working with him every day and working with him on the field, helping each other get open and make big plays for this football team.
Last one for you, Kate. Take us through the 40-yard touchdown, the second of your career.
Yeah, great play call by Coach Slice. I want to thank Coach Slice, Coach Elliott for believing in me. Great play call, and then from there I just caught the ball. Jack threw a great pass. I made a cut. DT made a great block. DJ McKinney made a great block. Just ran as fast as I could and got in the end zone. I'm so happy for this coaching staff, for my teammates, for the city of Albuquerque. It was a great win, great afternoon, and we're going to keep this thing rolling.
Congratulations. You're one game away from bowl eligibility. Go celebrate with your teammates,
Yes, sir.
Cade.
Great talking to you, Rob. Thank you.
Cade Keith, Lobo tight end, the biggest game of his college football career. New Mexico defeats Utah State 33-14. Here's the first one down the middle on the seam, Dontrell, the little pop pass.
Yeah, the pop pass was working today early and often, and great skill and dropping pass by Jack Lang.
Making himself available there, kind of sitting down when Jack has to use that pocket presence and move up into the pocket. And here's the one that goes for the touchdown. There's Dorian Thomas's block, and here's the one by DJ McKinney.
Yeah, I like Kate keep pointing all those guys out. He knows that when his teammates get down there and blocking that hard, he has to get it in the end zone. Great young man, happy for him. Great win for the Lobos today.
That'll do it for us for today from Albuquerque and University Stadium. They come out in the turquoise for the first time since the 70s. What a great look. But it wasn't just the unis today. The Lobos dominate. They go up 19-0 early, and they control it throughout and cruise to the tape. The final score here in the Duke City. New Mexico 33, Utah State 14. The Lobos are 4-0 at home for the first time since 1962.